Welcome to the Digital Dreaming of the Grind podcast. It's your host, Oscar Lee, joined with my co-host and most, Parsa Motavalli, and we're here to talk about the 40-win Sacramento Kings, who won over the Phoenix Suns yesterday, 128 over 119. Obviously, the bench had a great game, 63 points. I believe they outscored 63-35 or somewhere around those lines. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, also great games for both of them in the clutch. Walter Kessler making that final three. So actually, let me get your thoughts, Parsa. What did you think about the game?
I was impressed.
Yeah.
And at one point I was like, no, I think the Suns are going to take this and all that. But the Phoenix, they came. I mean, the Kings, they came back and they stepped up on defense, which is something that's been a bit questionable over the season. They've been great offensively, but they actually stepped up last night. And even without KD, but still, like, that's a great win. And it's in Phoenix. So
yeah.
You can't, I mean, come on. Yeah. That's a legit victory right there. And they've been beating good teams. They've beaten Memphis. They've beaten Warriors. They've beaten all the big names,
Yeah.
There's a reason why they're at the second place record right now.
And one more thing to note about that. Obviously, the Kings, they've won. This is the first time in 17 seasons that the Kings have won 40 games. Last time that they won 40 games was under Rick Adelman back, I believe, 2006. Last time they qualified for the playoffs. And so obviously for Mike Brown, it's a historic achievement. For getting this franchise, obviously they're one win away from breaking that, 17 year streak of not having a 500 season. And, ultimately, for me, just watching this team, I think one of the things that came out to me, obviously, besides the youth, is just the growth and maturation of a De'Aaron Fox, pair with a Domantas Sabonis. You see why they're both all-stars, and also the second unit, Malik Monk, and the new additions such as Walter Kessler, right? I mean, obviously, these guys are able to contribute big and when they need it. And so I'm thinking that during the playoffs, obviously the Kings defensive rating is to be desired. They're currently number 25 in the NBA in defensive rating. But obviously when you have a top 5 offense, maybe that defensive rating goes out the door. So for me personally, I'm looking at this Kings team. I'm looking at the remaining schedule, and I'm seeing the last 16 games as an opportunity for the Kings to maybe even get 10 plus more wins and maybe get into that 50 plus win category.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because we were talking about it there last night, and it was like they have 16 or 17 more games left or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think 50 games is really doable.
And I think one more thing to note is that not just the number of games, but also the strength of schedule, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously, even though the schedule is a little bit tough, the Kings have proven these last, since the All-Star break, I believe they're 6-2 or 7-2 or 8-2, something ridiculous. So it's like, they're 32-25 for the All-Star break. Yeah, so they're 8-1 since the All-Star break.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about, like, right now it's second place. I think Memphis is like right next to them, and then there's Phoenix. So like if they can maintain that top seed ranking, that's great for playoffs. So you get that home court advantage during that first round.
100%. Yeah, and 100%. I think that home court advantage is going to become critical, because now we're going to talk about other teams like the Lakers and other teams that are bidding for a playoff spot. Having that home court advantage at Golden One, I've obviously been to the Lakers game this year back in December. So, ayo, man, we out here like the beam, baby.
Yeah.
The Kings home court advantage does present a distinct advantage for that team because of the fact the crowd is so into it. This fan base is hungry for a playoff game.
Exactly.
And a playoff series will definitely bode well if it's at Golden One.
And they're going to feed off that energy. They're a young team. And so when they see that, that's going to be the boost they need.
Absolutely.
And playing away from home, it's like, then you get the nerves and all that. But here it's like, come on,
yeah.
Everyone's supporting you. The energy is going to be there.
Yeah, being team,
like,
baby. Yeah, being team, baby. Let's go.
Go full on.
Yeah, go full on. Yeah. So obviously, I think moving forward, now we're switching to be serious. Yeah, I mean, obviously the Kings now, like we just talked about, they've won 40 plus games. They play the Bucks on Monday. Bucks lost yesterday to Giannis. So let's kind of talk about that game too. So obviously the Bucks lost to the Warriors yesterday. Giannis was not playing, and obviously all ESPN is basically slurping the Warriors, saying that this is a championship team.
Yeah, exactly.
What is your thoughts on the Warriors in that game yesterday, and looking ahead to their final kind of 16 game stretch to close out the season?
So here's the thing. Yeah. A victory is a victory.
Yeah.
I think looking at in a neutral perspective, context is important.
Yeah.
I mean, the main person wasn't there.
Yeah.
Giannis wasn't there. I mean, that's a big difference. So you can't say your defensive identity is made championship quality until we see you play against the best. And I mean, basically the game went to overtime and they won by like 8 points or something, because I think the Bucks still scored 116 points on them or something.
Yeah,
like
125, 116. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's not very good. I mean, that's Giannis Bucks, 116 points scored. So basically, the defense has a lot to be desired of, and it continues to show. And if you have a team like a Giannis, Embiid, or just overall great team, they're gonna feast down low.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty easy. I mean, who's gonna stop Giannis on the Warriors?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a serious question. That's a legit question. I mean, yeah. I mean, we can talk about Steph, but they have, the Bucks have like great defenders. They're tall, athletic. They have long, lengthy defenders. They can switch. So that they're gonna give him plenty of problems. But I mean, who's gonna stop Giannis?
Yeah,
That's a legit question.
no, absolutely. And I think when we talk about it, I mean, I think the one thing to notice about the Bucks, as well as, kind of like you said, Giannis and the kind of the Warriors, I mean, if Giannis is back Monday, against the Kings, we're going to see what Sacramento is really made of, because that's obviously a top 2 team in the East, a top 2 team in the NBA by record and by defense, right? And so, I mean, this Bucks team is definitely more well-rounded than the Warriors. I do think that, yes, it's a quality win for the Warriors, but I mean, at the same time, that was a home game. It wasn't a road win, right? The Kings going on the road, even though the Suns are without KD, this Suns team is a lot more deep, in my opinion, than, they're a lot more well-rounded with a Devin Booker and a Chris Paul than many other teams in the West. So I think the Kings win, I'm obviously biased, but I believe that's a more quality win for the Kings than the Warriors got over the Bucks yesterday. So,
no, most definitely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I know they're missing Wiggins and a couple other players, but still the main identity is there. The main players are there almost, yeah. Minus Wiggins, but still, I mean, how much is Wiggins gonna bring to the team? Like, it's not like you're gonna go tiers above.
yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you still have Steph, you have the main guys, the splash brothers are there, and all that, and Draymond's there too, and all that. But yeah, and you basically barely pull out the win. I mean, of course, it's just one game. I mean, NBA, anyone can beat anyone, but still, overall, I mean, yeah. I can't really read much into it for the Warriors without Giannis being there. And I agree. If Giannis is playing on Monday night, we're gonna see it's gonna be a good benchmark for the Kings.
Absolutely. And flipping back to the Kings, let me actually read some stats, from your last night's win.
Yeah, go ahead.
There was roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players on the Kings in double figures. So Harrison Barnes had 19 points. Demontis Sabonis 17 points. Darren Fox had 18 points. Kessler Edwards had 12 points, including that dagger 3 at the end. Malik Monk had 18 points. Trey Lyles had 13 points. And Davion Mitchell had 13 points. Metu as well with the steal and the scoop slam also had 9 points. And Kevin Huerter also had 9 points. Keegan Murray was the only one without any points, but almost every team, and you almost had the entire team outside Keegan Murray with double digits, basically. And so when I look at this, that's kind of the quality team when I'm talking about. Yes, the defense, has definitely given up a lot of easy baskets and also a lot of easy transition baskets. And, I mean, mid-range, perimeter defense, it's a lot to be desired. But with that in mind, you look at this offense, and sometimes best offense can trump best defense. And we've seen that with teams such as the Miami Heat in the past. We've seen that, but I guess the only concern is, that rebounding glass eater down low, right? We still kind of need to see who's that going to be. Domantas Sabonis has done a lot, but I mean, can he really do that? Can he be a rebounder? And also, because the issue that we also talk about, the long rebounds, a lot of long rebounds last night and a lot in the last couple of games have been basically contested. And the Kings have come up with them maybe 50% of the time, right? So, I mean, we want to make sure, I mean, any Kings fan probably, if you're expressing the same concerns, if not, you can tune me out. But this is just my 2 cents. I do think that, I hope that they can figure out, how to balance out Sabonis's minutes, how to balance out, getting that big and getting that production, on the glass. Because, those offensive rebound, second chance opportunities are huge when it comes, to playoff time. So, yeah, I mean,
especially against a team with the bigs and all that.
Yes,
good rebounding teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like, for example, teams like Denver, teams like, maybe the Clippers, even, obviously Minnesota with Steven Adams, right? You do want to have some of that, rebounding, some of that power down low. So, I mean, I'm not sure if there's any free agent centers out there at this point in the season, right? So, I mean, but hopefully they can figure this out.
Collective performance, so
yeah,
they could work it out.
I mean, if we actually look at the total rebounds, let me actually pull this up real quick. So the Kings last night, total rebounds, let me count: 6 + 8, 14 + 4, 28 + 2, 30 + 7, 37 + 4, 41 + 4, 45 + 1, 46 + 3. That's around 49 rebounds. The Suns had 9, 12, was that 21 + 6, 27 + 3, 30, 31, 36, 37, 39, 41, 42. So yeah, they actually out rebounded the Suns by 5 rebounds. But ultimately, I mean, I still think, I still want to see more, because I mean, DeAndre Ayton was in double figures for rebounds. Sabonis had 8 rebounds, right? I mean, I hope that we can see more. more double figure performances, because obviously Sabonis leads the league in double doubles, and it's phenomenal. Obviously, De'Aaron Fox leads the league in clutch points with 169. Oh, even that number probably went up after last night. And it's
How much is it?
169 points in the
That's
clutch.
impressive.
Fourth quarter, yeah, it's impressive, right? I mean,
That
that's
is impressive.
yeah,
That's impressive.
absolutely. I
I'm
mean,
glad-
and yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that's exactly why I like the Kings. I like the Kings in the playoffs and in playoff series, even against the teams like the Lakers, because the fact even that the Lakers play, even though the Lakers play good defense, their offense is lagging. Even if the Warriors are coming back to championship form, the Kings have depth, young depth, right? Even I mean, they have an all-star power forward in Domantas Sabonis / center. They have an all-star, shooting guard, point guard in De'Aaron Fox. So I mean, that's pretty much, what more do they? I mean, yes, and they have the bench production, and that depth on the bench definitely comes in handy. Something that the Warriors have basically lacking this year. The bench production, and also kind of trading away guys like Wiseman and others. It definitely shows. You're seeing the after effects of that. So
Yeah, and then the thing is, like, I know they're a young team, and I know people always say that, like, hey, it may struggle in the playoffs because they're young and inexperienced and all that, and that's true. But then when you look at the playing field this year in the Western Conference, I mean, we're not talking about the Eastern Conference, that's a different story, but the Western Conference that they're at right now, I mean, honestly, like, who really stands out? Like, I see every team, there's questions on it. I mean, we can talk about injury issues, yeah, with Phoenix, Clippers, Warriors,
yeah,
Lakers. Like, they all have players that are injury prone or something. You always worry something's going to happen.
yeah,
That's one thing. And they all have their issues. I mean, they all have. I mean, honestly, nobody in the Western Conference really is a great, like, hardcore defensive team.
yeah.
So it's like, that's the thing, like, even though the Kings don't play defense supposedly, but it's not like who else plays defense in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
I guess Memphis has a good defensive record. I guess that's kind
And
of
the Kings have beaten them already this year.
Yeah, that's true, and that's true because they're great offensively.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't really say much, and I mean, we're just talking about the Western Conference, and it's a great position to be in because it's really open this year, and that's why I think, like, we could definitely see some upsets come playoff time in this conference.
Yeah, absolutely. I think kind of what you just said about the Western Conference, I think one of the things that we have to consider is that coming into the playoffs in the postseason, there's not too many teams who are, really, I guess, top ranked in defense and top ranked in offense, like the East. Like, we have a Milwaukee and a Boston, these 10 juggernaut teams who can basically do both. You do have the Warriors who have the championship pedigree, right? But I mean, again, I still think that there's a lot to be seen. I mean, we've seen them when they win at home. Let's see how they do on the road, right? I mean, you have to win road games because they're not going to have the home court advantage this season. Granted, all things remain the same next couple 16 games. Let's say the Warriors still win, but everyone else continues to win, and I'm pretty sure they will, unless someone else, everyone else in the top 5, 6, basically they falter and lose every single game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be then they're going to have to be playing on the road, right? And so I think the Kings road record, which is the best in the West right now, if I'm not mistaken, that bodes well for a team that has to go and play, both at home and on the road. And I think they could make a pretty deep playoff run, if they're able to play, to their full ability. So
yeah, and I agree with that. And one thing on the Warriors, like, and I know some players, like Draymond is supposedly saying it. I mean, I know he does talk too, but I mean, but like he's saying, like, why would I? Who cares about a game in March?
Yeah.
Step out in the playoffs, like, like that. It doesn't always work that way. You can't just say that. I mean, you can't be in rhythm like that. It just doesn't work. And last year, the thing was, like, even if they struggled during the middle part of the season, they still finished second place by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And so this is a different story right now. And defensively, they're not the same.
Yeah.
That's just the facts. It's not there. And I mean, okay, sure. Can they compete again? Okay, sure. I get that. But, like, you can't act like they're just going to come and walk over everybody. Like,
Yeah.
that's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
And you got these young teams, these hungry dogs coming in, man. They're going to come like a pack of wolves on you.
Yeah.
That's how.
I guess the only advantage I see for the Warriors is this, obviously, like, if they're able to win and get hot, and then obviously they get favorable matchups like in the first round. If they play the Kings, I think Kings will win that series. I mean, I know Warriors fans disagree, but I do think the Kings will win that series if they play the Kings. Maybe if they play the Grizzlies, but the Grizzlies also, I mean, I think they're going to lose that series, Maybe the Nuggets, the Nuggets have won a lot of games this season. I mean, I'm still not sold on the Nuggets as like number 1 seed. I mean, obviously Jokic is, this is going to be his third consecutive MVP award. And I mean, obviously there's a lot of pressure on him to, win the West and get to the finals. Yeah. But I mean, that's not guaranteed either. Right. So ultimately, when we look at it, I think the Kings are in a really good spot, to make a deep playoff run and, run the table. I said this on Jim Rome when I called him last year. And I think I sent you that video when I called in Jim Rome. I basically said 50 plus wins and win a playoff series, and that looks pretty good right now.
Yeah,
So
that's what we said, and it's happening. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, what can we say?
Call me Ostradamus. All right, now we're gonna switch gears. We talked about the Warriors, the Kings, most of the NBA. We're gonna switch gears over to your sport, football. So let's talk about PSG. Let's talk about kind of the
Football
headlines.
in general.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's go for it.
Yeah. So a lot's happened over the last few months and all that. And I mean, we had this brilliant World Cup, and I mean, you watched it,
Yes,
I watched it, we all did. I mean, great story, Morocco, the
Ale Maghreb.
yeah, exactly. Semifinals, like that was just. I mean, I did see after that, like, oh, they're gonna lose to Spain. They beat Spain,
Yeah,
and then Portugal 1-0, and I was like, holy wow.
yeah. They just kept winning.
Yeah, it came back, and then of course, I mean, the main story of the World Cup. I mean, Messi winning the champion. I mean, you couldn't have scripted any better.
Yeah.
The World Cup better. I mean, you already had a great World Cup. Then the final came, and then it's like Argentina goes up 2-0, and they dominate in the 80th minute, and within 2 minutes, the 82nd minute, like France scores and it becomes 2-2.
Yeah.
And then Messi scores again, then Mbappe scores and it's 3-3.
And it goes to
and
penalties.
And then finally Messi wins.
Yeah.
It's like, you couldn't have scripted any better.
Yeah.
And all that. And
he said scripted, folks. That was good.
like if you had scripted, it wouldn't have been.
The NFL is not scripted. Neither is the FIFA World Cup.
No, none of it's scripted. No. I'm just saying, if you made a script of it, it couldn't have been any better.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and then so that happened, and we're back to club football. We have the Champions League games, and so the Champions League has been going on, and there's still a round of 16. There's gonna be the last round, the round of 16. The last games are gonna be played on Tuesday and Wednesday this week. So, I mean, but the main story I think was Bayern versus PSG, and I mean, there's a lot of talk on PSG because they have all these players. You have Mbappe, Messi, all these superstars at the World Cup, and you have Neymar. I mean, Neymar was hurt though, so he wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I mean, now you didn't have Neymar, so you played Mbappe and Messi up front, and then they packed the midfield up with like 5 midfielders straight up.
Yeah.
And I mean, in theory, you think that works, but the thing is, PSG are just dysfunctional as a team, and they're unbalanced. And so the midfield was non-existent. Like Bayern just outplayed them off the park.
Yeah.
And it was pretty bad. And now the question is, what's going to happen to PSG? What are they going to do? And like, the thing is, I know they want to get rid of Neymar. I'm not sure how much is that they want to get rid of Neymar, or is it just because Mbappe doesn't want Neymar? I don't know what the issue is. See, there's all this kind of drama. See, that's not good for team dynamics.
Yeah.
And then, but he's under contract, I think, until, I could be wrong, 2026 maybe, or 2025, because he signed recently. So he's kind of there. He's stuck. He's getting his money. I mean,
yeah.
But he's a brilliant player, but he just has injury problems. So he's always injured during key parts of the season.
Yeah.
And that's been going on for a while now. So the thing, obviously, Messi at this stage, like, he's gonna walk a lot. Like, that's his game now. He can't run. He's 35 years old. He's gonna be 36. Like, he can't really run that much anymore. So he has to pick his moments. And so, I mean, like, in a way, he gets a pass that way because it's Messi. He's won it all. He's been there. He's done that. And he's an older player now. So obviously, you can't have him keeping up with 24-year-olds anymore. But the thing with Mbappe, it's like, because he had a chance to go to Real Madrid, and he turned it down last year, and he said he'll stay with PSG for more money. And the thing is, I actually don't have a problem with that because in a way, and even I was talking to my other friend, and the thing is, if he can win it there, that'll be great because PSG's never won. So if he wins it there, that's a great achievement for PSG and for him.
Yeah.
But like, and here's the thing. So when the game comes and the result comes, it's not about how you lose. It's not about the fact that you lost, but how you lost.
Yeah.
And the thing was, Mbappe was kind of walking like Messi too. Well, I mean, but the thing is, Mbappe, you're 24 years old. You're supposed to be running around.
Yeah.
Like when Messi was your age, he was a workhorse.
Yeah.
And then like you're supposed to be running. What are you doing? And yeah, I mean, it's gonna be something that it's gonna be interesting what happens in the summer. And the rumors, is he gonna stay? Is he gonna go? I'm not sure now. Yeah, because like Madrid, like he rejected Madrid, but would Madrid come back for him again? That's gonna be interesting. I'm kind of leaning. I was 50-50 on this, but I think he'll probably stay. I honestly do think Messi might leave. One maybe because he wants to, because the contract negotiations kind of halted for an extension, and then would the club want him there because he's an older player now? He's gonna, and I mean, like, they're probably not gonna want to pay those wages, so it's gonna be up to him unless maybe he takes a big pay cut at PSG or goes to another top club. I'm not sure where he would go right now. I mean, it's still too early. It's still speculation right now. But I don't think going back to Barcelona is an option. And, sometimes second reunions aren't always the best thing. Like, we saw what happened with Ronaldo going back to Manchester United. So, and I do think that it's best if Messi stays out of Barcelona.
Yeah.
It's time to move on.
It's time to move on.
Yeah. So that's why, like, I mean, the rumors have been going on, but like, it's Inter Miami. That's something that's been going on. I mean, so there's no confirmation yet, but that's definitely a realistic possibility, and it might be happening sooner than we expect. And at this point, like, if he does that, it kind of makes sense. I mean, you've accomplished everything. You've won everything there is to win. You've completed the sport. You have nothing else to prove.
Yeah.
And you're getting older now. And the thing is, while you can still perform, or you can build a team around you that can perform for you, it's just like, it's too expensive. And then clubs don't have the time for that or resources for that. And then you're getting older. Next year, you're going to be a year older.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's at this point, it comes a time where, like, you're the great, but you have to just step down and eventually go to one of those like retirement leagues or just a lower league, like basically a paid several year vacation.
Yeah, paid vacation.
That's fun. And I mean, I would love that because then we can go watch and all that.
Exactly. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I think to your point, I guess about the Mbappe point that you made, I think it's massive because, I think since he has so much control, being the best player in the world right now, as best young player at least, under age of 30, I think he does have a lot more leverage in PSG than many other players, if not the most leverage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, when you have that leverage and you have the responsibility, there's a lot more expectation, for you as a player. And so I think to your point of not being able to put energy, not being able to work, not being able to, do the little things, that, like you said, like a Messi or one of the other greats like Ronaldo did during their time, I think that does speak a lot, to kind of, his
it's the character. It's kind of the ego.
Yeah. And I really didn't want to say that because Mbappe is one of the most exciting young players.
He is. He's explosive.
He's
exciting,
phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, and you got also Ramos there, who's on his twilight years. You got obviously Hakimi, who's there.
Yeah.
Moroccan hero, so there's a lot of great players, young and old, but yeah, it looks like PSG is just kind of going down to, down the crapshoot,
Yeah. And there's been all kinds of it's just all kinds of drama in PSG or something. Yeah, I don't know. There's an article earlier about the owner of PSG. Like, apparently there's some kind of a scandal going on or something. Like, I don't know what the story was, but like he kept someone hostage or something. Like, it's kind of weird. There's some issue going on right now.
Wow.
Yeah, it has to do regard to the World Cup or something. I don't know too much about it, but there's like, what I'm trying to say is that there's so much. It's a big circus going on in PSG right now.
Yeah.
It makes good for headlines and talking about it and just drama and all that, but it's not great for team chemistry and all that. But yeah, in regard to Mbappe, like, basically he runs the club. Basically, that's pretty much what it is. And like, when we go back, like Ronaldo, like he had an ego too in his younger years and all that. But Mbappe, he exceeds that. Like, it's next level. I mean, like, again, he's a brilliant player. Like, I love watching him play, but sometimes you just gotta speak the facts that what you see.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And even in France, like, he actually, like, a lot of times, like, he would walk around too, but then, like, he was brilliant, but like the rest of the team was working hard for him, basically.
Yeah.
And then, but like in PSG, that's not gonna work though, because he can't have.
Absolutely no. Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, I think that what the point is, when you're a captain, again, when you're a captain and you're the star player, expectation mounts, right? I mean, we want to see Luka Doncic and we want to see Nikola Jokic lead their team to the NBA Finals, right? And so, but if you're not able to do that, I mean, there's a reason for that, right? And then when the team underperforms, you're going to look at, who's to blame for that. And I think ultimately it does fall on Mbappe's shoulders, being the best player in the world. So, but I mean, again, we'll see how that all shapes out, but I think to your point, yeah, I would love to see Messi here in Miami. I would love to see it. That would be great.
Like, seeing the GOAT player to see, come here, like, it'd be the first time. Yeah.
It'd be the first time. It'd be great.
I haven't even seen him play in person before, so
yeah, me too. Yeah,
because I haven't been to Europe to go watch it during the time and all that.
but you went to Barcelona to watch.
Yeah, that was so that was back in the summertime in August. That was off season time. There was no games going on. So and the players weren't even there training. It was that they were away. So
yeah,
I think there was like some preseason tour stuff going on. So
yeah.
yeah, because I mean that's the travel time. We always do like summertime and all that. So like during the fall, winter time, we're not there. So
Yeah.
that's
But let's also remember the World Cup is coming here in 3.5 years. Yes, sir. So let's get ready. Let's get ready.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as soon as when the time comes, as soon as we know what teams are there and what games, like we're gonna get our hotels. So like Mexico, America, and Canada. So
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing is like you might have to go. Like your team might play in Mexico and then Mexico City, and you might have to go to Canada the next flight. So like, but I mean, I'm all for it. I don't mind.
Yeah. It's gonna be
It's gonna be a long travel though.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than being in Qatar. I'll tell you that. Where you're just in one city the whole time.
You know,
2,000 miles.
You know what's funny? Actually, let's talk about some Premier League. I'm not sure if you watched Chelsea recently, but I remember there's a match where Ziyech was like hitting the back and he punched the player, and then the referee said it was a red card, and they looked at the VAR and they said it wasn't a yellow card, and then everyone in the stadium were basically booing. I think it was Tottenham, I want to say. Or
I didn't see
yeah,
that
yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah. It was
Watch
funny.
the game?
Yeah, it was a fun game. Yeah.
You know, well, what game was that again? Do
It
you
was Tottenham and Chelsea. Yeah,
okay.
Premier League. So yeah, and I think Tottenham ended up winning. I think it was 2-1 or something like that. So I think it's funny how like in the World Cup we didn't see the VAR be leveraged as much. So it's kind of interesting how like at the club level the VAR can like reverse a decision like that, but then the World Cup they look at the VAR and sometimes it may or may not change everything. So
yeah, and because then it comes down like the VAR tells the ref to come, like they have the speaker, then they go, the ref runs to the camera thing, and they look at it, and then like then it's their discretion, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like all the players come to him and complain, like
what the heck happened?
like it doesn't change their opinion.
It doesn't change their opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you're good.
No, just saying, but I mean, it's in their DNA. Players, they have. There's definitely those players that complain and all that. I mean,
yeah,
the star players.
Yeah. So let's talk about some more star players. So I think some NBA season awards. For the season ended today, my MVP would be Nikola Jokic. My sixth man of the year would be Malik Monk. My coach of the year would be Mike Brown. My most improved player would go to maybe, I don't know. I mean, someone on the Kings or someone else. I mean, maybe De'Aaron Fox. I'm not sure if you can give a star player. Most improved, he's been a star all of his career. So, but I think also my NBA team, my all NBA team would have De'Aaron Fox. I don't know if it's third team, second team, or first team. It would also have Domantas Sabonis, obviously leading the league in double doubles. I think so. Kind of, what's your take on the current awards? Who do you have, for each one of the categories? Oh, rookie of the year, I have no idea.
I have no idea. I would probably about the same as you, and I would MVP. I would agree with. Yeah, I think Jokic at this time. Yeah, considering what he's doing and the stats and everything. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, and I think because Giannis missed a few games and all that too.
And Doncic is kind of off and on. So
yeah, Doncic off and on. So, and I mean, yeah. Oh, what about defensive player of the year?
Oh, defensive player of the year.
That's what I haven't thought about that much. That's why.
Yeah, I'm not too sure actually.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. Giannis is going to be in conversation, right?
He has to be. Giannis is going to be in conversation. It can go anyway.
It could go either way. I think. I mean, I don't think it's just nobody really talks about that as much. It's all about MVP. I feel like it's always MVP. So.
And in any league, any sport, right?
MVP.
Yeah, MVP. Who's gonna get the Ballon d'Or? Who's gonna get
the
MVP? Who's gonna get the most outstanding? That's how it is.
Yeah.
Man of the match, man of the walk, man of the cup, or player of the cup. Golden ball, golden boot. So that's what it is.
Yeah. We're always like these main individual trophies for a team sport, and like that. It's always like that. Yeah,
it's always like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, I think I generally agree with that, and I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, so yeah, Jokic will be 3 times in a row.
3 times in a row.
That's pretty impressive.
So let me ask you: if Jokic doesn't lead his team to the NBA Finals this season, is the most pressure to win a championship on him or someone else?
I think it's gonna. So right now, no. But if he comes up short again, like they lose in, second round, first round, I think it's honestly at this point it's the same because like you have the superstar expectations. And like people are calling him a top 2 player in the world or something now. Yeah. Like there have been legit people calling him a top 2 player in the world behind Giannis or something like that. That's been talked about. Yeah. So if that's the case, he should have the expectations for him should be to get to. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a disappointment. Like say if they face the Suns in the Western Conference Finals, or I don't know how the finals are going to, it depends on the seedings too. Yeah. I mean, if they lose to them.
You have the Suns making the conference finals over the Kings?
I'm gonna say right now, I'll say Kings. If well, we can talk about that. We're gonna talk about that too.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of ifs. But right now, Kings.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's gonna happen with KD. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If KD's healthy, there's a lot of ifs in this, and I can say ifs about a lot of teams. So
yes, exactly.
Let's just keep the Suns. I was just talking specifically about the
but Nuggets. Yes.
Yeah.
So if they lose the Suns, sorry, complete your thought.
I guess that's kind of understandable, but yeah, basically. So if he comes up short this year, most pressure is probably going to be on him because you're a 3-time MVP, and you can't get. All you have to show for it is a conference final, like a few years ago.
Yeah.
This season, I don't think so right now because I don't feel like the media that the pressure is on him that much right now. But I know it's gonna come. If he doesn't make the finals, I'm not even saying winning it. I'm just saying get to the Western Conference Finals because I think it's open.
Yeah.
And I think if he doesn't make it this year, the criticism will start coming out. And I do think that if you're gonna be branded that way as a 3-time MVP, and what happens next season? Is he gonna be Jokic MVP 4-time? Like you gotta deliver in the big stage because that's where the best players are made of. So.
Absolutely no, and I think kind of to that point, I think Stephen A. Smith actually the media pressure did actually come on. Stephen A. Smith on his first take, he did say that he thinks Jokic has the most pressure to make the NBA Finals this year. But Chris Mad Dog Russo said, counterpointed that, saying that Jokic's performance in the playoffs has not fallen off, as opposed to other players, such as, let's say, a Chris Paul or such as a James Harden.
That's true.
Not necessarily say Chris Paul has fallen off. I mean, he did lead the Suns to the NBA Finals, 2 years ago. But, at this point in his career, now that you have KD, right? I mean, you're going to have to figure out a way to win. I mean, if it's not this season, it's going to have to be next season. I mean, it's going to have to be within the next 3 seasons because Chris Paul at the age of 38, I mean, I'm not sure how much longer he can go at this level, and especially as an old 38. And KD, when he's been on the floor, so far the Suns haven't proven anything beyond the doubt that they are the definitive favorites to win the West, right? Back to your point let's talk about the ifs, right? If KD's healthy, right?
Yeah.
So if KD's healthy, fully 100%, do you think the Suns will make the NBA Finals?
Ooh. If healthy, if everyone's healthy, if they play their potential. Probably, because KD scares me.
Yeah.
And I'm just being honest. Like, he scares me. He scares me more than Jokic. He scares me more than Luka.
Yeah.
Like, I think, again, these are ifs. But I think if healthy, I still think he's the second best player in the world still right now. I think possibly, yeah. But, I mean, he hasn't been healthy to show it yet. But we have seen him when he's healthy. Like, even the Nets were doing good with him before the whole chaos happened.
Yeah.
They're still doing great. They're doing great with KD. Like, he just elevates you. Like, that team that much. Like, any team he's on. Yeah. So that's definitely a possibility. I do have my doubts with the Suns, though. So it's not like, I'm not like a definite yes they would win, but it's possible just because it's so open in the West. And I feel a lot of teams still have to prove it. The thing is, like, continuity is important.
Yeah.
Team chemistry is important. And I know KD fits, like, he could just mesh with anyone, like, right away. But still, like, there needs to be team chemistry. So he's going to be missing another couple weeks or so, 2-3 weeks. So he's going to come, like, a week before playoffs, play 4 or 5 games. So you hope that the chemistry builds up there?
No.
Okay, that's the big question. Like, I think he'll be fine minutes-wise. Like, I think he's okay with that, knowing how KD plays anyway. But it's more the team chemistry, I think, is important.
And that's why I don't think the Suns will make it with KD, because the team chemistry has not shown that KD is definitely, makes them world beaters like they did with the Warriors instantly, because they're still figuring a lot of things out, so to speak.
It's on the fly.
It's on the fly. And I think that's kind of why I think I would still take a Memphis or a Denver over a Phoenix with KD, because we've seen them consistently this year.
How do they play?
Yeah, how do they play? And I mean, these are obviously assuming, obviously I'm a homer, so I'm going to go with the Kings over anyone.
Yeah.
But if I'm just looking at from an unbiased perspective, there's a lot of other great teams in the NBA, in the West. Not too many, though, as much as the East, right? But they're still there, and you have to acknowledge them for what they've been able to do this season. So
yeah, I actually do like Memphis too, if they can resolve their drama issues and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I read the Jaws out indefinitely. I don't know if they're extending suspension or not, but like, see that stuff has to resolve before the playoffs. Like,
it definitely does.
Yeah. We can't have that stuff going on.
You can't have that.
But they're a brilliant team to watch. They're a brilliant team to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I honestly, like, that's what I don't think there's a clear cut favorite.
There isn't. It's open season.
Yeah, it's open season.
Yeah, exactly. Basically. I mean, the Western Conference is wide open, so. Anyone can take it this year if they're able to play their full ability, So, I mean, can the Kings do it? Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. So I mean,
and then another point, that's why I think the Nuggets could have a chance this year. I just think, I guess the little doubt we have about the Nuggets is because they haven't proven it yet.
yeah,
But they have a pretty deep team actually now,
Yeah.
and everyone's healthy, and that's the thing. But I think that they could possibly do it, and they don't have many injury issues or anything. Like I don't feel they're as injury prone as say Suns or Warriors
Yeah.
or Lakers or Clippers. I mean, Clippers are that's always an injury issue.
Yeah.
there. Like, and I mean the Clippers. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I always feel like, and we can say the same thing about the Suns. Like, is KD gonna get hurt? Is Chris Paul gonna get hurt again? But is Kawhi gonna get hurt? Is Paul George gonna get hurt sometime in the playoffs? You know, that's
legitimate. Yeah.
And like, you expect something's gonna happen.
that,
You know it's gonna happen. I mean,
That's why De'Aaron Fox is the Iron Man, because he played through a hamstring, he played through an injured elbow, he played through a bunch of shit. So I think
has he played every game this season?
he has played, no, not every game, but he's only missed like maybe single digit number of games. So
That's good. Yeah,
he's Iron Man. So I mean, De'Aaron
players
Fox,
who do that.
it's a great player, durable and
strong.
And I mean, it was a long time coming for this Kings team. De'Aaron Fox is like the pride of heart Sacramento. You can watch old interviews where he said, when I moved to Sacramento, I thought it was just a bunch of farmland, nothing to do. But like, he came to know that the fan base here is one of the best fan bases in the league. When I came to Sacramento back in almost 10 years ago, right? I mean, that was right before they built the new Kingers Arena the following season. And it's remarkable to see how far they've come. Vivek Randive is a great owner. Obviously Monty McNair as a GM has done a phenomenal job. So he definitely, another award which I forgot, Executive of the Year, should go to Monty McNair of the Kings.
I agree.
So I mean, it's a lot of great things going on right now at Sacramento. The average age of the roster is maybe 26, so they're or 25 and a half.
They're really young.
Extremely young.
25 and a half.
Yeah, extremely young team, extremely deep, right? So I mean, there's a lot of good things to look forward to for this team. And if they are able to, let's say they do, worst case scenario, they do fall short in the playoffs this season. They do have openings in the free agency market in the offseason where they could maybe attract a Pascal Siakam or some other free agent.
Imagine they get a big star player like on top of this, like that'll be their set. I mean, it's gonna be, This is already a playoff team as is, and then so if they can get Pascal's actually a good choice.
Yeah, Pascal Siakam, I think that will put them over the hump definitively.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. I'm excited. I really hope they do. I'm excited. I want to see who they play the first round. It's gonna be exciting. Yeah, exciting. But I hope they win, man. I hope they go up. Yeah, we need. It's great for California, man.
Great for California. So let's wrap up this episode with the following: the Kings are now 40 wins, one game away from a 500 season for the first time in 17 years. I cannot re-emphasize or restate that enough, right? So it's phenomenal, right? And I'm pounding the table, pounding it because you got like the beam, pound the table. I'm sorry. And anyways, and obviously with football, we'll see if Messi wants out of PSG. Anything else to add on that? Sorry, and Neymar wants out. Yeah, go ahead.
Neymar wants out. What Mbappe does and all that. What's gonna happen with the whole drama chapter with PSG?
Yeah.
I mean, we all love talking about that. It's all drama. I mean, hey, you got the two big stars of the World Cup on the same team, so
exactly.
But
it's great entertainment.
Great entertainment in general. And then looking forward to the Champions League. And I think right now, let's see how the rest of the Champions League plays out here. And then Premier League, let's see if it's Arsenal or Man City, because Arsenal is on top right now in the Premier League. So let's see how that works out. And then summer free agency, let's see what happens.
Yeah, and let's also, we forgot to mention Cristiano Ronaldo and I believe, where is he now?
Al Nassr.
Al Nassr, yeah, sorry. The FIFA Club World Cup, Morocco was hosting the FIFA Club World Cup. Real Madrid beat Al Hilal. And Al Hilal, I think they beat Ronaldo's team.
Yeah, it was like a
Al Nassr
or something.
Yeah, Al Nassr. So yeah, I mean Al Hilal's a great team. Real Madrid is Real Madrid. Everyone, I mean, there's not much more to be said, but I'm interested to see, because now they actually have images of Cristiano Ronaldo's daughter learning Arabic. So I mean, I'm not sure, if she's going to actually, adopt the language of country, but his family's there now. So we'll see how it all shapes out.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts before we close out?
I think let's just hope for a wonderful sports year, and it's great for a great playoffs, man. I'm stoked.
Yes. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Kings. Let's light the beam. Let's get to 50 wins. I'm your host, Asif. My co-host, Parsa Motavalli. We are out. Thank you all for tuning in. We will be back for more, and I'll let you know when that will be. All right. Take care, everyone. And enjoy your weekend.